All right, we're about to get started here. This is the second to final race that we're going to be seeing in this preliminary format. Let's get the Symphony of the Night soundtrack up and running. You know it, you love it. This is the Castlevania Symphony of the Night randomizer race. This time we are doing the final preset of the preliminary races, which is Lycanthrope. Lycanthrope is the one where you start with a set selection of gear, and you get access to the wolf movement immediately, and the wolf movement itself, as far as how much it costs MP-wise, is significantly lowered. So it's a lot cheaper to move around in wolf form, which is great. We got 9 racers this time. I know, tiny, terribly small. Honestly, I should just cancel the tournament altogether because there's only 9 racers. We have Matthias, we got Dinner Dog, we got Scrimps, we got Jupiter, we got Refined Hornet all on this screen. And then on number 2, we got Crazy Four Blades, we got Ren, we got Chaosvania, and we got Vey. A lot of top tier runners here, and I will be very interested to see what options people are opting to go for movement-wise, tech-wise. Lycanthrope is one of the more in-depth explored presets, so I'm curious to see what's going on here. A lot of people struggling with the prologue fight with Dracula. I don't think we're seeing Maria come out for anybody. No, nobody has to summon Maria, but there was a few, snafus. Dracula does have a lot of health, and if you don't get damage stacks, it could take a while. It seems like Chaosvania, honestly, taking almost a minute to take Dracula down. Unfortunate. But it is what it is. And immediately it feels like the person, Hornet is the first to transform into wolf and is immediately going. Another thing that's interesting to note about Lycanthrope is you can skip death. So if anybody fails this death skip, they're immediately at a huge disadvantage. So you have to make sure you have enough speed, jump at the right time, and then untransform through Death's Room. We're going to see a lot of people going for it. And a lot of people are getting it on this screen right here. Pretty much so long as they still have their cape equipped, I'm going to assume they got Death Skip. Death Skip. Everybody on this screen gets Death Skip. We have a few people going for Death Skip. We see Ren in the bottom left has done it. Vey has already done it. Crazy has done it. And the last person to attempt Death Skip here is going to be Chaosvania. Meanwhile, we're seeing in the bottom left Soul of Bat and Iron Shield. What a seed. Soul of Bat, first relic. I do want to see if Chaosvania goes for it. Opting to set up from here, very interesting. I don't know if that's going to give you enough speed. Oh, mistimes the jump. And opts to say, screw it. I don't need Death Skip. Wow, Chaosvania. This can happen. I'm a firm believer if you miss Death Skip, to just go. It's fine. Like, the equipment's not that big of a deal.
You steal men's souls.
Rayther, thank you for the gifted sub. Much appreciated. Also interesting to note, Vey is doing an interesting route after grabbing Soul of Bat, which is flight, opting to go back to castle entrance. Not a lot of people would choose this route, but I think this route can be quite interesting because the movement to go through back and forth is pretty quick, all things considered. And it's gravity boots. That's a great movement buff, but it doesn't necessarily unlock any extra progression. But it is nice to have. Gravity boots is a fantastic relic to have. Holy fire with the 5 gifted. Is that what we're doing? We're just gifting out subs today? I appreciate it. We're making our way towards an all retro achievements playthrough of Symphony of the Night, where I have to fight get all 107 retro achievements. It'll be fun. Let's see how the other competitors are doing. Cube of Zoe was found. Matthias opts to go back. Yeah, so the main split in route right now is whether or not the competitors wanted to keep going forward through the alchemy lab or take a pit stop to grab that gravity boots in the castle entrance. Very interesting. We're seeing the first save from Jupiter in the top left. Saving is one of those things that's pretty good to do if you can do it. Specifically early game, because if you need to refill your MP for any reason, you most likely will have to do it at a save room. And the first time that you save the game will force you into a 10-second long save animation. So at some point, you're going to have to save the game. You just want to know like the optimal place to do it whilst also refilling MP. I imagine a lot of these people are going to be a little uncomfortable with how much MP they're using because they started with Soul of Bat. So it'll be interesting to see. Ring of Vlad, we're seeing Hornet grab the Ring of Vlad. Let me get my pointer assist here. Ring of Vlad found for Hornet here in the bottom part of the Marble Gallery. It is a required relic. We do need to see all 5 Vlad relics before the end of the game. All 5 Vlad relics plus Flight plus Holy Glasses is go mode in this game. So everything else on top of that is just fluff. And with Lycanthrope, you're basically always guaranteed to have good movement. So the wolf movement plus the bat movement is already like pretty good. Like there are only a few things you would want on top of this, which would be like Leapstone and Gravity Boots. And Gravity Boots was already found. So this is looking to be a seed with a lot of movement potential, which is great. Heart of Vlad found as well. 2 Vlad relics already found. Right there, Heart of Vlad. Very interesting. A lot of people taking pretty much the same route here on this screen. The only person to deviate is Matthias, down here, who already has the Gravity Boots. I wonder if very many people are going to end up finding that. When are they going to find that? It just goes to show that the routing options are very, very open. And speaking of open routing, the person who has routed the best so far and executed the best so far, just barely, is Dinner Dog. Dinner Dog right here is going to be the first to enter Coliseum with, right down here, Hornet not terribly far behind. Scrimp's also not terribly far behind that, and then Jupiter as well. So pretty much a lot of people are following a similar route. Ooh, is that Silver Ring? That was Silver Ring. Oh. Dinner Dog is opting to skip Silver Ring? Interesting. I wonder what his game plan is. That's a major progression item for the most part. Like, you pretty much need Silver Ring most of the time. Because the way that this preset works, it's based off of a complexity system. The minimum complexity is 8. So essentially what that means is there's 8 steps of relics. Oh my god, a Chrysogram was just found for Scrimps. Scrimps found a Chrysogram right... Oh my god, anybody who does this route finds a Chrysogram. So Dinner Dog is missing the Chrysogram because he chose to not fight Minotaur and Werewolf yet. Everybody else who fights Minotaur and Werewolf gets a free Chrysogram. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Renry, for the Prime sub, by the way. I appreciate that. Jeez. That... See, because I was going to say... Dinner Dog's route is definitely risky because of the complexity of the randomizer. We've talked about complexity a lot during these preliminary races, but essentially the idea is the complexity number essentially means how many steps of relics do you need to acquire before the game considers that you've won, right? Before you're in go mode. In Lycanthrope, it's 8, so you're expected to find 8 things in a chain, usually, that lead to the final Vlad relic, which leads to the end of the game. And oftentimes that means high priority relics, or relics that are just required to finish the game, are often locked behind things with multiple locks guarding them. For example, the Silver Ring location itself is locked behind Jewel of Open, Mist, and Spikebreaker. So because it's locked behind 3 different progression items, the odds of it having something good are a little bit higher because there's only so many locations that are locked behind multiple things that a high value relic can be at the higher complexities. The math just works out that if it's locked behind multiple things, it has a higher chance of being something good. So something, for example, like Silver Ring and Gold Ring together will open up the Holy Glasses location. So oftentimes, finding a random ring like that is a good thing because it means that you don't have to worry about, like, it gives you more options when you have high complexity locations that you might need to find. Like, for example, the Holy Glasses location, since it's guarded by 2 separate things, it's a little bit higher odds that it could be something important. Meanwhile, while I'm saying all that, Dinner Dog finds the 3rd Vlad relic. It's been less than 9 minutes. This might be a 30-minute seed. Depending on where the game expects the final Vlad relic to be, this could be a 30-minute seed. And funny enough, the Iron Shield at the beginning is pretty darn good. It's not as good as a Chrysogram, but Iron Shield plus Shield Rod is really, really nice, and everybody started with the Shield Rod, so if they did the Death Skip, which all of these competitors have done, they're in a great spot, and pretty much everybody else is following suit with a similar route. I think Matthias, wait, Mathias also skipped Silver Ring and has saved a lot of time, actually. Mathias isn't that far behind now, and he's done the entrance check. Very interesting. I really want to know what the logic behind the Silver Ring skip is. I guess if you find Gold Ring, you can backtrack for it, and there's no guarantee that they're going to find Gold Ring or even need it. So I guess Dinner Dog is banking on the fact that, oh, we might not need to go to Holy Glasses, I guess. Yeah, Dinner Dog is just racing to do as many checks as possible, which is a good strategy. Let's check in on the other competitors. I'm imagining they're all doing similar routes here. Somewhat similar routes, yeah. Chaos Vania's definitely probably the farthest behind because of no death skip. Vay's not terribly far behind, has done Silver Ring. Crazy Four Blades is about to enter the All Rocks fight, and I imagine Ren is also going to be doing something similar, or Ren is doing something completely different, actually. I think Ren warped back to entrance to do the entrance check and is now doing All Rocks. That's an interesting way to do it. I don't hate that idea. That actually might end up being more efficient than what the other competitors did by backtracking immediately. Very interesting. Very interesting. Pretty much all of these competitors, I feel like all 5 of these competitors are probably the farthest ahead, both due to how many checks they've done and like how far into the castle they've explored. But it's only been 10 minutes. Ooh, we see the Snorkel. It's going to pop up right up there. Snorkel is the relic, the Holy J. Very interesting. I wonder if people end up grabbing that. I think it's worth grabbing, personally, especially in Lycanthrope, where you can do movement underwater in wolf form. But they already have access to Bat. Bat does kind of trivialize a lot of the need for extra movement underwater, but what's Dinner Dog doing? Dinner Dog's opting to check the ghost card first. Meanwhile, Mist is found for Scrimps. Looks like Hornet's just about to find it as well. And Jupiter's a little bit farther behind all these competitors, which is very, very interesting. I feel like Dinner Dog's lead isn't that big right now, right? Because Scrimps already has Silver Ring and is like right there next to him. Scrimps seems to have caught up a decent amount. Is Fire in this? No, Fire is not in this. I think Fire is going to join the race later today. It's very possible. This race only has 9 competitors. You know, it's a tiny baby race. But there is another race happening later today with Lycanthrope as well. So hopefully we see any competitors we're missing right now, they'll join that race instead. Dinner Dog does opt to grab the Holy Symbol. Interesting. And just like that, I think Scrimps now is the farthest ahead, technically. He has missed. He's making his way to Outer Wall. He's going to be able to full clear Library. Wow. They're very underappreciated. I think there's a lot of fantastic racers for Symphony of the Night Randomizer now. I feel like this is the most competitive it has ever been for Symphony of the Night. Especially seeing multiple types of presets played throughout this tournament. It goes to show that there are people who are just well-rounded in the game as a whole, not just one particular preset, you know? Which I think is really, really cool. Almost pretty much tied up between Hornet and Jupiter down here. Very interesting. People are just damn good at this game, which is lovely to see. Yeah, this is probably the healthiest the Symphony of the Night community has pretty much ever been, which is really awesome. Ooh, Dinner Dog finds a Monster Vial, and like, I don't know what to say. Scrimps over here is just going fast. Going fast, only doing what's necessary, except for that Heart Refresh. I mean, Heart Refresh, what are you going to do, any percent? What do you need a Heart Refresh for? Come on. You plan on doing some reverse shift lines or something? Is not grabbing the warp to Outer Wall, which is actually the correct play because he has missed. He's got the mist relic right there. You don't need the Outer Wall warp because you don't need to come back here for anything. It's expected that you're just going to finish everything right here, right now. And you know what's weird? Dinner Dog and Scrimps were basically neck and neck. Scrimps' movement is so much better right now that he's like almost a full minute ahead now. They were both entering the Castle Keep at the same time, and just like that, Dinner Dog's like an entire section behind almost. Did Scrimps check what's at Fairy Scroll or no? I didn't see if he did. Scrimps also not checking the library shop right away, instead going straight to fight Lesser Demon and check what's at Soul of Bat. I think this is technically the correct play because you have the chance to find extra money here. So you want to do as many checks that have the potential to give you like a diamond or something like that so that you don't have to backtrack. Dinner Dog opting to grab this warp. I don't think the warp is necessary right now. Genuinely. I think the only way this warp is necessary is if you plan on going back to the outer wall for some reason. Oh, and it's Jewel of Open. Wow. So right now we can do a little bit of counting, right? This is what I mean by complexity counting or understanding how complexity works. So right now, the start of the run, these players found flight via the form of Soul of Bat. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 was the form of Mist, which was locked behind needing to fly up to grab it. Step number 3 was Jewel of Open, because Jewel of Open was locked behind a Mist Gate. So that sort of chain keeps going all the way up to 8, and then eventually on the 8th step you find the final Vlad Relic, and then you go beat the game. That's generally how it works. Okay, there was nothing at Fairy Scroll. Got it. I just saw that on Dinner Dog screen. Pretty much everybody's in the library now. All of these competitors are basically doing the same idea, the same type of route. Sprite card in the shop, Mana Prisms in the shop. Scrims didn't even check the full shop and just leaves. Interesting. I guess he doesn't have enough money, so he doesn't care. He only cares about buying library cards because he's like, well, I'm not going to have enough money to buy anything else, so might as well just leave. I think that's a fair play, actually. I think Scrimps is playing this insanely well. The idea is like, well, I don't have enough money to buy anything now, so unless it's a library card, I just got to go. Very fast decision-making here. I think Scrimps is onto something. Because I would have read the whole shop because I'm a baby. So. And Scrimps is going to go from here to go into the caverns, most likely. However, Silver Ring is actually on the table. The game expects you to have Mist, Jewel of Open, and also Spike Breaker. But you don't necessarily need Spike Breaker. Spike Breaker is there to break the spikes, but you could also use invincibility from spells or potions to just stand in the spikes without taking damage. So, yeah, Scrimps, I think, is just insanely far ahead, just due to just movement alone and decision-making. Like, it's really impressive. There was a point where Dinner Dog was ahead of everybody because he skipped Silver Ring, but Scrimps' movement is just so much better. If he keeps playing like this, he is going to win, as long as he doesn't make a crazy gamble that hurts him immensely. Meanwhile, on this side of the... Where's everyone going? I expected everybody to be in the shop by now. Crazy Four Blades doing some weird route where he's going from the other side? And he has missed. That's very interesting. Nad, thank you so much for the 15 months. That's such a long time. Seems like Vey is the one who is following the same route as the other competitors, but is a little bit farther behind. I find that very interesting. My guess is pretty much everybody here is going to be slightly farther behind in general, unless some crazy skips are done, where these routes make the most sense to me in my head, with Scrimps being just far and away the farthest ahead right now. I think he's like almost a full minute ahead of everybody just due to movement. Just straight up, his movement's just better. The only person who has done a different route is Matthias down here, and he's not even that far behind either. I think Matthias is catching up to... Yeah, Matthias is almost fully caught up to Dinner Dog. What's the dog doing? You can only ask yourself so many times. This might just not be his best performance. He also doesn't have the Chrysogrim, but Matthias doesn't either. So I don't think the Chrysogrim is the major difference. I think Scrimps' movement is just insane right now. Yeah, they found nothing at Succubus. I don't think there was any important items to be found either, unless there was like a library card that we missed, but I don't think I saw one. I mean, this is a dream scenario for a randomizer race for anybody who is like well-versed in this game. Ooh, Matthias! This is what I was talking about. Hold up. Let's see what this relic is right now on Scrimps' screen, but Matthias is choosing to do the Silver Ring out of logic. I think this is a great idea, personally. Wow, Merman statue. That could be a free step in the complexity chain, which is nice to have, right? Because that means the Merman statue itself was locked behind needing Jewel of Open, and then the mermaid statue becomes like another step at the holy symbol location. So this could just increase the complexity by one step for free, because, you know, everyone's going to check Scylla, find mermaid statue, and then go check it. Meanwhile, we got Matthias over here doing this out of logic check. This could be big depending on what's found here. If this is a Vlad relic, Matthias might be able to skip a lot with this information. So here is why this is a big deal. Matthias has 4 out of 5 Vlad relics. He knows all that's left in this scenario is one randomly placed Vlad. If he finds that randomly placed Vlad, he gets to skip everything, right? And the rest of the competitors, since they only have 3 of the Vlad relics, don't know that yet until they find until they go to the Silver Ring location. So Matthias, depending on where that random Vlad is, has a massive advantage, especially if it's in the first castle. If it's in the first castle somewhere, oh, and there's holy glasses. Hold up. Actually, that might not matter that much. You know what Matthias might do? Matthias might get the holy glasses the same way everybody else is getting the holy glasses down here, and just go straight to the second castle and just skip everything else in the first castle. That might be the play, straight up. Because the odds are, depending on how many... Oh, and a Heaven Sword drop. You love to see it. Depending on how many checks are left in the first castle, if you just need to find a random Vlad, there's 10 checks total in the second castle, or is it 11? There's Darkwing Bat, Medusa, Achmedon, Trio, Beelzebub, Creature, the 2 in Caverns. Yeah, it's 10 total. So as long as there are less than 10 checks left in the first castle, the odds are that it's just in the second castle, right? Doesn't mean that that's guaranteed, but if you're playing the odds, you would go straight to the second castle at that point. Very, very interesting. I'm also curious to see what Scrimps is going to do. Oh, Scrimps is actually doing this check. This check right here is kind of regularly skipped. It's what won me the Lycanthrope tournament, was skipping this check. And the only reason I started skipping this check is because Jupiter started skipping it, and it felt necessary. And it's Leapstone, which actually is nice. The fact that you get this check and it's Leapstone will kind of pay for itself. The amount of time you spent to grab it basically means it's kind of free, because Leapstone increases your movement potential by so much. Meanwhile, Matthias is now entering the caverns down here. This is getting spicy. All 5 of these competitors have the potential to do crazy routing from here and make up a ton of time, I feel like.
You steal men's
Anonymous, thank you for the
and
gifted.
Make them your slaves.
Wait, tier 3, huh? Wait, why? What? Thank you for gifting a tier 3. That's $25. What the heck? Appreciate it. Enjoy the tier 3 emotes, Hannon man. Just get lucky. Interesting. Okay, here's also another reason why Matthias is kind of goated, because he already has the gravity boots. Meanwhile, anybody who's doing this route, Hornet as well as Jupiter, they're both going to the gravity boots right now. So they're going to get Leapstone and gravity boots, which is great. But Scrimps skips everything. Is instead going straight into the caverns? This is crazy routing. I understand why he's doing it, but skipping it. Well, he doesn't skip Leapstone, I should say. But Hornet gets Leapstone and is going to grab gravity boots. Jupiter is getting Leapstone and gravity boots. We don't know what Dinner Dog is doing yet. He's down here, and he's still a little bit farther behind. Matthias, on the other hand, has the potential to do something crazy as soon as he grabs glasses. If he grabs glasses, maybe does a save split and goes straight into the second castle, that would be huge. That has the potential for massive skips. The only way he gets punished is if, like, somewhere here in the caverns there's a random Vlad, or maybe there's another random Vlad at Holy Glasses, maybe? Scrimps, on the other hand, is down here specifically because he doesn't have Echo of Bat, but he has the Soul of Bat, which is enough to do the Spikebreaker location check. And Spikebreaker location is yet another location that's guarded by multiple relics. In logic, it's expected that you have Soul of Bat, Echo of Bat, and not Merman Statue, sorry, Jewel of Open. So because it's locked by 3 things, it is higher odds that it's something important. But the odds are it could just be vanilla Spike Breaker. And then the game expects you to find Echo in the second castle or something. And then vanilla Spike Breaker leads to Silver Ring. Meanwhile, Matthews has already done Silver Ring. So he could potentially skip all of the catacombs. Yeah, Fire of Bat is found at Grand Falloon. Found behind Grand Falloon. So I think Matthews is safe to just go to the second castle as soon as he can.
And make them your slaves.
Azrael with the tier 3 as well. Is it tier 3 day? Are we all subbing at tier 3? Is that what we're doing? You do get a sizable discount if you do it this month. You know what's even crazy? If you sub at tier 3 for 6 months in advance, I think you save like $40 or something crazy. It's expensive. I don't expect anyone to do it. I think it costs like $100. But you get 6 months of tier 3 for like, it's almost like 50% off or something like that. I don't know. Another thing that's crazy about it, because of the discount and because it's tier 3, I get 100% of that money and Twitch doesn't see any of it. Twitch is basically discounting the amount that they would receive at tier 3. It's really crazy. And it's vanilla Spike Breaker, like I said. Oh my God. Okay, so the way that this is going to end up working for most competitors is that they're going to know that Silver Ring is important now. Because they just went to a high importance location and found Spike Breaker, that is pointing them in the right direction. It's pointing them towards Silver Ring, right? These players know that finding Spike Breaker in a high importance location means that the Silver Ring location will also be high importance. The only thing I'm concerned about is Matthews is down here fighting Cerberus. He didn't choose to backtrack all the way to the second castle. Maybe he's going to the warp and he's going to warp immediately, or he's going to check Demon card and then warp immediately. If you are a fan of Matthews and you want Matthews to win this, he needs to check this location right here and then immediately warp out. He needs to warp to second castle, straight up. If he goes down, it's over. Oh, he's going! To be fair, this warp is probably the closest warp to Matthews, and it had an extra relic check along the way. This is a good move. I think Matthews did the optimal play here. If he stops right here and goes, literally galaxy brain shit. Galaxy brain shit. This is what I was talking about earlier with finding Mist in Jewel of Open. That just gave you, like, the option to do an out-of-logic check at Silver Ring. It's a high-value location. Matthews is like, you know what? I'm probably going to have to do Silver Ring anyways at some point. I'm right next to a warp. Let me go do it. Goes and does it, and he has a massive advantage because of this. You know who else has a pretty big advantage right now? Dinner Dog. Pretty much anybody who's going, Hornet as well, anybody who's going to grab Silver Ring right now has a huge advantage. And funny enough, Scrimps was so far ahead with his movement, but he did too many checks. He did too many checks. Oh, sorry, Hornet's down here. I mean, this is Jupiter. I got him mixed up. Jupiter! Also skipping Grand Falloon. I'm pretty sure all of these people, once they found Spike Breaker, were like, okay, like I can skip Grand Falloon pretty safely here. So most likely, the actual intended progression, first of all, Matthews is just straight up winning this. Because I don't think there's anything left in the first castle for them to get baited by. You know who else is doing really well is Vey. Vey is about to find glasses and can do a similar route. And also did the out-of-logic check. A lot of these players over here aren't terribly far behind either. So there's still potential. There's still potential. We don't know exactly what routes these guys have taken, but they're not terribly far behind. In a 9-way race, this is more open than it's ever been. Because all these other races have had insane amount of people. All the way, also, Dinner Dog did a MP refill glitch. His MP just refilled for free. Looks like a cheat to me. Dinner Dog disqualified. It all depends on where this final Vlad relic is. If Matthews finds it right here, okay, it's not here. Any one of these checks can be the final Vlad relic for Matthews. But yeah, I'm thinking the intended route was Bat Layer 1 into Mist, into Jewel of Open, into Merman, into Glasses, into the second ring, because the silver ring was free. It was considered a rando ring. So Gold Ring is somewhere in the second castle. That leads to the Holy Glasses location, which probably has Echo of Bat. Echo of Bat probably has Echo of Bat leads to Spikebreaker. Spikebreaker leads to... Well, that's 9. So maybe not. I don't know. Echo of Bat might just be in the second castle, actually, now that I think about it. And Holy Glasses is nothing. Yes, actually, that's exactly how it works. Or it's the other way around. No, it can't be. Echo has to be... No, Echo has to be in the second castle. I was wrong. The sad part is Matthews doesn't have that much of a lead, but he doesn't have the Chrysogram. And he's fumbling the bag. He doesn't know how to do the glitchless strat. In glitchless, this exact setup is how you kill Medusa. You just throw one holy water, hit her once, throw a holy water, hit her again, and you loop that. But no Chrysogram means a lot of time loss, potentially. Dinner Dog is opting to use Fist of Tolkis instead and is getting owned by Richter. He's looking like me trying to do no-hit all bosses, boss rush. Hornet's not terribly far behind either. Hornet down here. Oh my god. Sorry, that's Jupiter. I keep getting them mixed up because I read Hornet here and then I look to the left, but no, this is Jupiter. I'm sorry. Hornet's on the right, Jupiter's in the middle, Scrimps is on the left. Told you that Chrysogram's going to be the deciding factor. We'll see. It can be depending on where the final relic is found. I feel like the longer they're in the second castle, the more that Jupiter has a chance to catch up. Because Jupiter, I think, is the closest out of these competitors. But we'll see. Because Iron Shield is good enough to solo Shaft and Dracula. That's not a big deal. But as soon as more bosses get added to the mix, the more that Iron Shield starts to not cut it. Yeah, Matthews, I think, needs to find the last Vlad, like, right away. Pretty much at Trio or at Beelzebub is my guess. If it's any farther than that, I think Jupiter makes the comeback. Genuinely, I don't see a world where Jupiter doesn't make the comeback here because his movement is great and he has better damage for bosses. So as long as he doesn't make any big mistakes, Jupiter could catch up. It'll be interesting to see, though. Oh, I'm also noticing Scrimps down here doesn't have gravity boots. That's a lot of time lost in the second castle. Struggling with Iron Shield? How? This is why, if you struggle on any boss using the Iron Shield, it just goes to show that you should probably play some Glitchless. You should probably play Glitchless any percent. Because Glitchless any percent has all the strats for how to use Iron Shield, like right there. It's just right there. You learn them, they're very quick. Usually 1 or 2 casts is all it takes to kill pretty much every boss in the game. Iron Shield's crazy. What's he doing? Medusa Shield? What are you doing? Vial Stack? Actually, Matthews going for the Vial Stack here. This is the one time I agree with Vial Stacking, because it's a full screen, constant damage. And this boss is annoying as hell without it. Yeah, instant. Yeah, this was better than Iron Shield. I'm usually a hater on Vial Stacking. I've admitted it multiple times in this tournament. I think Vial Stacking is kind of lame. But that's the one time where it makes sense. However, Jupiter is so close. It has the Chrysogram. It doesn't matter. Chrysogram, you just slash him up. I think Jupiter's going to win this. Straight up, I think Jupiter is winning this because Matthews is spending so much time in his inventory. He at least has Fire Shield to deal with Beelzebub, but Jupiter never has to open the menu. He just slashes. He's just slashing. He's just slashing. That Bobby Big Balls Marth emote is so good. God, I love Bobby Big Balls. If you guys don't know who Bobby is, he's a legend. Oh my god, that's a good emote. All right, Matthias, this is like your last chance to be in the lead. Gravity jump from here. Yep, easy peasy one cast. Matthias knows the strats, at least, for how to deal with the situation that he's in, even though his menus are definitely slow. Meanwhile, oh, it's Echo. Jupiter's right here. Now, the question is, will they skip Creature now? Creature is on the table. Creature could be the final Vlad Relic. Creature is the most likely to get skipped in this scenario. If I'm Jupiter, does Jupiter skip Creature? This is also another left side W, by the way. Just saying, all the people who are against left side, we've had like 5 left side seeds this tournament, and we've only done 9 races. So, maybe it's a coin flip. Maybe left side, you just flip a coin as soon as you start the tournament race and you say, well, if it's heads, I go left side, because half the time it just works. Meanwhile, how's everybody else doing? Second castle for Vey. Vey's not terribly far behind either. And everybody else is yet to enter the second castle. But they all have glasses, and it seems like they're all on their way. I think Crazy is looking for the random Vlad. We also have Ren about to enter the second castle, and Vey is already in the second castle. So, again, this race is pretty close, all things considered. And speaking of close, Matthias goes left and is checking Creature. Jupiter, on the other hand, has a chance to steal by just not checking Creature. Let's see. He just has to fly through this next room. He untransformed. He's out of mana. He's going up. He's skipping Creature. Matthias has a 1 in 5 chance to win now. There's only 5 checks left in the game. It has to be Creature or else Matthias loses. And Jupiter just wins. Because Jupiter's not going back for it. There's no way he save splits. Jupiter's save splitting? There's no way he goes to Creature from here. He's going up. He's going up. He's going up. So, Jupiter's going up. This needs to be a Vlad Relic. This needs to be a Vlad Relic or else Matthias loses. Straight up. Oh! That's not a Vlad Relic. Well, you know, GG's. It happens. You know, it happens to the best of us. It was Fairy Scroll. Now, however, we do have an interesting dilemma of Jupiter is opting to fight Doppelganger first, which is way slower than just checking Force of Echo. Pretty much in this scenario, when you're dealt with this 50-50, where you either have to check Force of Echo or check what's behind Doppelganger, always check what is fastest for you. Right? Because this gives an opportunity for someone to basically go to the other one and, like, win, right? For example, if Matthias guesses correctly here on the 50-50 and Jupiter guesses wrong, Matthias could still snipe this. Maybe. It's unlikely. Jupiter going for the Mana Prism. No, Jupiter's still too far ahead. Matthias isn't that far behind, but no, Jupiter's still getting it. Never mind. Yeah, this is looking like Jupiter is winning this. Matthias isn't too far behind and could possibly get second place here. Yeah, looks like it. Everybody else seems like their second castle movement is just not 100% there. Seems to be my interpretation of what's going on. See, Matthias is doing what I'm saying, which is you check the other... Oh, down here. You check the other one first because it's faster. Although Matthias, I think, has Medusa Shield, so he could freeze Doppelganger with the... He can stone the Doppelganger, so... But it doesn't matter because the final Vlad Relic is either Death or Galamoth, which is very funny. Let's do a quick prediction in chat. Let's see.
Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
I'll give you guys 1 minute. You guys got 1 minute. You got to go fast. Go fast. Predict fast. Put all of your money in right now. You gotta do it fast. You gotta do it fast. Do it fast. Do it fast. Gold ring. Wait. Could it be gold and silver ring leads to a random Vlad? Is that possible? I think that's technically possible. Well. You know, I didn't think this through. I didn't really think this through. So let's do a new one. Is it going to be Galamoth or glasses? Go, 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 go. Predictions, go. It's still a 50-50. It's just a different one, technically. And I didn't want people to go, actually, it was holy glasses the whole time. You gotta go fast. You gotta go fast. I'm ending the submissions as soon as Jupiter finds the relic. I don't think anyone here is going to skip Galamoth. Nobody has the chutzpah. They don't got that dog in them to skip Galamoth. So I think pretty much everyone's going to check Galamoth. But if it's glasses, that's very funny and has the potential for big skip. Oh, Medusa Shield. Cool. It was Galamoth. We all knew it was Galamoth. Regardless, it was always Galamoth. The glasses bait was funny. It was funny. But it's Galamoth. Boners, this is your chance to indeed rise up. Jupiter honestly started off, I'll say it, kind of doo-doo. Like his movement, he was like in the back of the pack for the majority on this screen. I think he was like the farthest behind everybody else. His early game movement just wasn't nearly as clean. But second castle movement's huge. I think he skipped Grand Falloon, which was pretty big. He did get all of the movement upgrades. So this is one of those things that happens when you want to redo. Why? Because you bet on the wrong thing? That sounds like a skill issue, my guy. Maybe you should just guess correctly next time. You'll get there. You'll get there. So yeah, Jupiter's movement wasn't like clean early game, but because he found Gravity Boots and Leapstone, whenever you find those relics, if they happen to be relics that were like likely to be skipped, for example, Matthias does not have Leapstone. He skipped it. Or Dinner Dog, who has neither. Dinner Dog does not have Leapstone or Gravity Boots. And I think, yeah, Scrimps skipped Gravity Boots. So if you go out of your way to do a check and it's nothing, like it's not the thing you're looking for, but it's Leapstone or Gravity Boots, it increases your movement potential anyways. So because of that, you end up being just fine overall. A lot of the times in seeds, especially the longer the seed goes, the Gravity Boots and the Leapstone, they pay off dividends in the late game, which is really, really big. So Matthews is, by the way, using Heaven Sword. Double Heaven Sword to fight Galamoth. He's going to win. It doesn't matter what the race says at the end of this. Matthias wins because he found the alternate win condition, which is find 2 Heaven Swords and use the most powerful weapon in the game to beat the most annoying boss in the game. That's the win con. He won.
You steal men's souls
Campbell.
and make them your slaves.
Campbell's soup. Thank you for the 5 gifted. I greatly appreciate it. All the support and all the love today. I appreciate you guys. This has been an incredibly exciting race. Pretty, I would say, above average. Very fast lycanthrope seed, even though pretty much both first castle and second castle were fully cleared by most competitors. The only real relic skips, which were pretty standard on Jupiter's end, which was Galamoth skip and, Granfaloon skip and Creature skip. That's pretty standard. During the Lycanthrope tournament, I'm pretty sure those were the 2 most skipped locations, that and Merman Statue. Merman Statue was another highly skipped location. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Matthias, I think, is likely going to be in second place here. And Dinner Dog's not that far behind either. Dinner Dog was in the lead early game, kind of fell into the back of the pack due to his lack of firepower, but isn't that far behind. However, Scrimps could make a pretty big comeback just due to having more firepower. But this is an easy dub for Jupiter over here. Like, GG's. That's a first place every day of the week. Christogram's enough to solo. There it is. 46-01. GG's to Jupiter. Taking first place. That is 8 points guaranteed for Jupiter. And I think Jupiter is guaranteed to walk away with first seed for the tournament. The tournament placements were... Let's see. I think Jupiter was in the lead. Yeah, Jupiter was in the lead above Matthias by exactly 1 point. So even if Matthias wins the next race and also gets 8 points added to his point total, he'll still be 1 point behind Jupiter in seeding. So he's going to get second seed if that's the case. So Jupiter has guaranteed himself first seed here. He doesn't need to race anymore. Logistically, there's no way for anyone to catch up and steal his spot. So Jupiter could pass up the next race, but he'll likely join for practice, because that's just the kind of guy he is. So GG's to Jupiter. First seed, first place in this race. You love to see it. Matthias should be on his way back. Vey is also not terribly far behind either. Vey could possibly snag a positioner here. Crazy, not terribly far behind. And then we got Ren, who is resetting on... Here, did the save split for Creature. Got it. Interesting. Gonna chill and chat for game 2. Sounds good, Jupiter. You earned it. First seed in the final bracket. You love to see it. Congrats.
Tribute. You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
I ate Microb. Thank you, Microb. Appreciate the 5 gifted. Insane amount of support today. September in full effect here. If you're getting gifted a sub right now, congrats. You'll never see ads again for the next month. Jupiter, you've also been gifted. Easy peasy. We really want to see the retro achievements. We went over the retro achievements on stream. They're pretty ridiculous. One of the retro achievements is you have to defeat Galamoth hitless without landing on any platforms, without transforming, whilst using, I think, Alucard's sword, and the Alucard sword has to do under 100 damage per swing, or something like that. Oh, and no barrel circlet, yeah. I think what I'm likely going to have to do is I'm probably just going to have to soft reset for... I mean, the shield doesn't really matter. I'm probably going to have to keep resetting until I get the grounded /infinite. Which is tough to set up without transforming.
Tribute.
Without taking damage as well. Another 5 from Microb.
And make them your slaves.
You guys really want to see these stupid retro achievements. And they're all tier 2s? What? You're crazy. Congrats on tier 2, everybody. Matthias going for the glitchless strat. This is looking like a second place here, as long as Matthias doesn't make a huge mistake. Dinner Dog's not terribly far behind either. Dinner Dog also didn't get the Christogram. Uh-oh, Matthias, come on. Matthias, you could probably learn to to speedrun glitchless by now, right? You're really good at the game, Matthias. Maybe do some glitchless speedrun attempts. And there it is, second place. Matthias confirmed. I think at this point, that's a confirmation on also second seed. I don't think there's a world where anyone else can snipe second seed. So Matthias is going to be the second seed in this tournament. Funny enough, first place for this race, first seed, second place for this race, second seed. But we also have some tough competition here between Dinner Dog and Scrimps. It's not terribly... Scrimps, I think, wins this, actually. Oh my god, and Vay's here too. Hold up. We gotta get... Quickly. Come on, come on, come on. This is gonna be a photo finish for third. Oh my god. 5 tier 3s! Microb, what are you doing? That's like $1 billion! I have 10 quadrillion subs now! What's going on? 5 tier 3s is like 100... Wait. Yeah, that's $125. What the hell? I guess it's discounted. It's September. It is discounted. Oh my god. Tycoon Daddy. Oh my god, there it is. Matt, Dinner Dog can't make up the time. He was the first into the fight, but Scrimps has the better DPS. They might steal this position too because of the Chrysogrim. Dinner Dog was the first to enter the room, but he might be the last to leave because he didn't find the Chrysogrim. No shot. Ziggy is also Tycoon Daddy, but Ziggy's Tycoon Daddy in a more, he's the Tycoon Daddy that leaves for milk and comes back like once every like month and a half. But that's okay. He'll come back. He's going to come back, okay? He just needed to get milk. Scrimps takes it. Oh, Dinner Dog's taking a lot of damage too. Does Dinner Dog clear this or is it Vay? Who's taking this? Vay! Vay snipes it! A second! 2 seconds! Faster than Dinner Dog. Oh my god. What a snipe! All because of the Chrysogrim. And there's Hornet. Like 4 seconds behind that. Everybody on the screen finishing within like 10 seconds of each other is insane. Absolutely wild. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th place. But it's not done yet. These last 3 competitors, they are all competing for 6th and 7th, which do increase the amount of points that you get here. So it's not over yet. These last 3 competitors are racing for additional points. And so far, Ren seems to be the farthest ahead out of all these competitors. What an insanely close race up to this point. I cannot believe it. Matthias, you were ahead, yeah. Matthias, you were in first until you checked Creature. I hate to be the one to tell you, but it's that Creature. Microb with the tier 3. What can I say, you know? What can I say? Thank you for spending $10 quadrillion on the stream. Congrats everybody who got gifted a tier 3. You know what? Everybody who got gifted a tier 3, please. I have 1 tier 3 emote. Where is it? D-Blitz pile of secrets. Go crazy. You've earned it. Spam the chat if you got one. Just flexing out here. Flexing. You love to see it. This is looking pretty safe for Ren here. I'm pretty sure, unless something crazy happens, Ren should be taking 6th here. Sorry, 7? No, 6th. 7th. Oh. I miscounted. This is for 7th, which means Ren is likely going to take the last spot for additional points. Unless something crazy happens. This is to double your points. 7th place walks away with 2 total points added to their total, where 8th and lower all walk away with 1. Meanwhile, I do want to remind everybody the current points totals before the end of this race, by the way.
Men's souls and make them your slaves.
Thank you, Typoid. I think is how I'm supposed to say that. For converting to tier 1. You love to see it. So, we are looking at, before the start of this race, these were the point totals. We had Jupiter with 1 point ahead of Matthias. Here, let's make this a little bit bigger. Jupiter was 1 point ahead of Matthias. Jupiter guarantees himself 8 points. Matthias guarantees at least 7. So it seems like these will be the top 2. Thank you, Brave, for the 100 bits. Appreciate all the support today, guys. Scrimps, I don't think is guaranteed much.
Tribute. You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
Thank you, Meat Crop, for the 10. Already, what? Jeez. Jeez, my guy. Oh, my goodness. So as of before this race, you're guaranteed top 3. I think you're guaranteed top 2. I don't think Scrimps has the chance to get more points than you. And Scrimps was the most likely to take your spot. So I think you're guaranteed second place.
Tribute. You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
There it is. We've hit the sub goal. We are going to be playing through Symphony of the Night, acquiring all 107 retro achievements. This is probably going to take multiple streams. Long story short, the points matter, okay? The points matter.
I've been watching the YouTube and it turns out I love this kind of content. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Onigear. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy the content. Eat a big pizza? I had pizza yesterday. I'll eat a big pizza. Can never have too much pizza. So I think we've guaranteed the top 2, which is to be expected. A lot of fantastic competitors. Now what's going to be interesting is who has potential to move into the final bracket. Because I think this is pretty much Ren. As long as they don't die, they're guaranteed their placement here of 7th, which means Crazy and Chaosvania are both walking away with 8 points. There it is. Sorry, 8th place, basically. Ren gets 7th. And interestingly enough, this is the current top 12. The top 12 are the people that are making it into the bracket. Thank you, Lynn, for 2 gifted as well.
And make them your slaves.
So, Jupiter's guaranteed 1st. Matthias is guaranteed 2nd. Everybody here probably has potential to move around a little bit more. But we have people like Count Cranberry. We have Crazy 4 Blades who have the potential to move up depending on what the bottom end of the bracket looks like. Because only top 12 are making it in. Everybody else who had the chance to participate, it's greatly appreciated. But only so many people can make it into the final bracket. I think next year we'll have a last chance qualifier as well for anybody who doesn't make it into bracket immediately. I'll leave spots open for that, I think. But nonetheless, that was a fantastic race. Congratulations, everybody who joined in, and hopefully you had a good time. We do have another race happening later today in just a few hours. Stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. You should join the live stream, twitch.tv/DragonBlitz. You should subscribe. And you should also watch the next one, which will be happening tomorrow. See you later, YouTube. Have a good one. Bye-bye.